Our first year in review, living full-time in an RV, what we learned, what we want to change for year 2, what our plans are, and how they've already changed. Let's go down that road. Hello, faithful people. I'm Orleen.
I'm Gary, and welcome to the conclusion of year 1 and the start of year 2.
Yes.
On our roads of faith.
And boy, are we going on some roads of faith right now. If you haven't been following our channel, or even if you have, here's a really quick recap. I'm going to be reading this so I don't forget anything. Last year, we searched for months before we finally found the RV for us. And it was not at all what we were looking for. So keep an open mind. You can learn more about it in our previous vlog, number 108. And then we left Wisconsin on August 3rd. We spent a few days in Minnesota at my mom's, and then we headed west on August 7th. We saw some beautiful country and travels, and you'll enjoy a lot of those videos. To see any of those, just go to our channel and go to videos, and they're all there. And then we got out to British Columbia the end of August, just in time to help our daughter and son-in-law move into their new home and have a new baby. And then we were there for 3 months. And then we left there, but it was during the rainy season, cold, rainy Pacific Northwest season. So we were traveling fast and furious to get to something warmer, which landed us in Citrus Heights.
Yes.
And what happened there?
Well, we went to a few services there, and one of the evening services met the circuit pastor, who just happened to be looking for a retired fill-in for a vacancy in a church that started the 1st of January.
So that was in another video that I'll put the number below on that one, on everything, how that all came about. But then that got us going a little later on some of our other travels that we had planned. And we did make one thing on time, though, and that was to get back by Mother's Day. So we have been back in Wisconsin for pretty much since the middle of May. And we have stayed in friends' driveways. We've got our son's driveway several times where our Wisconsin grandchildren live. We've gotten to see a lot of family and friends while we've been here, and had some maintenance issues and some fixing up things that were water damage, things like that. Got videos on all of those, so if you want to watch those, that's the nutshell version of what happened. We'd like to show you a little picture preview of some of our highlights. It's nowhere near what we experienced, but these were some of our favorite things. We're not even including all the people we met, because that would be a video in itself. So just imagine lots of people in there too. enjoyed that. So what did we learn our first year? First of all, we learned very early on, do not stay in truck stops if you want a good, quiet night's sleep. They're pretty noisy. We live on a very small budget, so we do not stay at campgrounds very often. In the video, our previous video, I talked about how we only spent $149 the whole year on camping. So you'll have to watch that to find out how we did that. Casinos are great options. We stayed in church parking lots of people that we knew. You just you have to make sure that you ask permission anywhere you park, including Walmart parking lots, because not all of them can have you stay at their stores anymore due to city ordinances. So we found a lot of quiet other places to stay. The second thing we learned is that our first year was on a lot of people's schedules, other people's schedules. And so that was difficult. And we'll tell you a little bit about some of the things that we've learned since then on how we can maybe handle that better for the second year. The biggest part of it is that it is a struggle. There were things that we wanted to do, but we wanted to see these people too. So the struggle is real. And hopefully we found a solution for that. We'll share that in a minute. 3, you want to cover this one?
Okay. The challenge is to find your way to where you want to be on the route that's safe and you don't have to turn around a whole lot. Well, don't trust your GPS all the time. Most of the time it's reliable, but it's good to have a better map and be careful what road you go down.
You can get free maps at just about any visitor center for each state, so it's not anything that you really even have to purchase. Really helped a lot. We used a big atlas, we used individual maps, we used the GPS and our phones when they were working. Reliable cell service is not everywhere, so
that brings up the other point, cell service. It can be a real challenge to try to get a signal on your cell phone carrier, especially if you're out of their home zone, which happened to us quite often.
And when it came to doing videos, to upload our videos or to check our emails or any of those kinds of things, there were some things we could do on our phone, but some things we needed to have better internet for. And so we found that public libraries were very good options. They're quiet, and you can really get a lot done there. So we know that now, and that's been great.
We haven't been able to invest in a WeBoost yet. We've looked at them. Might be a big help.
That's on our wish list.
That's in the new year.
They start around $400 on up, so that's a big wish list thing. We do need high-speed internet to upload our videos. If we don't have high speed, it can take 2 to 3 hours to upload, and then it may fail because there was an interruption in the connection during the upload, and then you have to find a new location to upload the video with higher speed. So that has been a very fun thing, and that's why sometimes we fall behind on our videos.
5th thing we learned is that before we started this lifestyle, we watched a lot of YouTube videos of people who are doing
hours. It was the only thing we watched.
A lot, okay. To see how other people were doing it, people in similar situations, and how they went about.
I took a lot of notes. I had a notebook. I will share that with you another time. But I had a notebook that had different dividers in it for all kinds of things. And that was very helpful. It really helped us a lot. Everybody has a unique way of doing this. And what we found out is that our lifestyle is not the way a lot of YouTubers' lifestyles are. Some of them have children. We don't have that. Some of them stay at campgrounds a lot. We don't do that. Some of them don't have a lot of family. And we have a lot of family and friends all over the U.S. So we have a lot of different situations that they don't have. You get good information from them, but just know that you have a unique story.
Along with that, there's all different kinds of RVs that you could select. And we tried to prepare as best we could for it by looking again at YouTube videos of people and what they were living in. just going to different shows and stuff and walking inside, sitting down, looking at the fixins and stuff.
And that's why we decided we didn't want slide outs. That's another video we'll do another time. But yeah, some people absolutely need them and they say they're great, but we just didn't want to have the added headache if they don't work or have water damage or whatever. So
Right.
and a lot of times you can't use your bathroom or your kitchen or different rooms when the slide outs are in. So make sure you really check those things out when you look at them when you go to an RV show.
Two main options were either to get something that would be self-contained and then likely have to carry or pull something behind us, otherwise to get a truck and a trailer.
Which is what we ended up with. And actually, it's been the best thing for us. We wanted a Class C. That's all we could figure. That was the one for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up with a truck and a fifth wheel, and we don't regret that.
So as we look to year 2, we're going to continue with the trailer into the new year, our second year, and be open to other options, but we're not looking at making a major change soon.
No. This is home. And it felt like home the minute we walked into it.
Taking it away.
And yes, there are times when it's bigger than what we want, but
It's worked out very well.
yeah, especially this summer. We've been living in this, even though we're staying with family and friends a lot of times, we are living in our own home. The seventh thing we learned is not to believe all those RV posts and those Pinterest posts about all the must-haves you need to have in your RV, because not all of them are practical and not all of them are necessary. It just depends on your situation. One of the things that I bought actually before we moved into the RV was an Instapot. Absolutely love it. But it's not practical when you are in an already cold, moist climate, which happened to us last year. You don't want to be adding any more condensation to the air than what is already there. That's not a good idea. In fact, a lot of people think that the reason they have water damage in their ceilings and walls is because of leaks. And oftentimes it's from condensation that they didn't wipe up or take care of. So we want as little condensation in our RV as possible, and an Instapot puts out a lot of steam. The same with essential oil diffusers. Some people talk about those in their RVs, using them there, and we love essential oil diffusers, but we have a little one that we use in our truck instead, and that's been really working out well. The truck cabin is usually pretty dry, so we really like that, but in an RV, no. The eighth thing we learned is that there are good people everywhere. I cannot believe the angels on earth that God has put into our path, and the families and the people, the individuals, the help that we have gotten from so many people, that total strangers that took us out for dinner and just different things that they offered us that it was just mind-blowing. Shut the TV off. We don't miss it. We don't miss the news. There's so much negative out there. You rarely hear good news. And when you're out there with people, you really get to know that this country really does have a lot of wonderful people in it.
You'd expect that when we're traveling around and going to different churches and things that you're going to meet a lot of nice folks there, and we did. What you don't always expect is that the other people you meet are also nice, the ones that don't have the church connection necessarily. And we have, everywhere we've gone, we just enjoyed meeting the folks in the towns and the country,
including
camping
the dump
areas.
stations. I mean, you meet them in the oddest places, but we have just met some wonderful people.
Yeah.
So really know that there are good people everywhere. And the last thing we learned is that before we started this lifestyle, people kept saying, how are you going to do this? They knew we were on a very small budget. So financially, they were wondering, how are we going to do this? Mentally, where are you going to stay overnight? How are you going to do this? And we just kept saying, God will provide. And He has. And when that's a big part of what Roads of Faith is about, this is not just a travel channel or anything like that. This is about day-to-day life and how God always takes care of you, and just have the faith that He knows what He's doing. He's in control, and we just have to believe that. God is awesome, and we already knew that, and we've already gone through trials in our life where God provided a way out, or He helped us through it, and we knew that. But this last year really magnified all those beliefs. So what changes are we going to make for year 2?
Well, number one, last year I drove 99% of the time. This year I'm going to drive 1% of the time.
No.
Well, maybe a little more than that. But Orlean did drive some last year and got used to the feel of what it's like. And hopefully she'll be open to the opportunities to drive more this year.
Yep.
In the past, we had hoped to be traveling no more than 200 miles a day. In many cases, we had hoped maybe 100, just to be on the road a couple hours and travel from one place to another. But that didn't always work out. So our goal for the new year is the same goal we had before, to make it shorter distances, shorter times driving from location to location.
Remember, we're in a truck and a fifth wheel, and we're going to be making more stops more often. We're not going to be driving 70 miles an hour. We're not even driving 65 a lot of times. You just don't do that. It's not a wise thing to drive fast when you have an RV. So it takes us a little longer to get to places, and
we're always towing the trailer. Once in a while, when we park at a church or something, we can take off and leave the trailer, but when we're boondocking, you don't want to leave your trailer sitting out in the wilderness unguarded.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we don't take the more scenic routes for that reason. So maybe we can make some changes there.
Yep. Our first year, we didn't have a generator or solar panels. And it was kind of interesting. Some of the subscribers were commenting on that, on just why isn't your generator working? Or we didn't have one. And a really good one is about $1,000. So this year, this first year, a friend of ours in Arizona gave us a 50-watt solar panel. And I'm telling you, that has helped and made such a big difference. The biggest concern for us, I don't need a blow dryer. Today is a boondocking day here. I didn't do anything with it, and Gary's is too. So, you don't have to have electricity for everything. We use lanterns, we have LED lights, but we don't use them very often. Even though they take very little power, we still rely on solar lights and things like that more.
For heating, we have Mr. Buddy.
Yep, Mr. Buddy propane heater, which we crank up for maybe an hour or so before we go to bed, and then again, first thing in the morning, Gary gets up and warms things up. Anyway, so that has been really a big difference, though. What it does is it keeps our refrigerator charged up. We can still use the water pumps and things like that. It just keeps things functioning, and that's about all. But it makes a big difference. We were able to boondock for 8 days, 3 different times this summer at different locations, 8 days at a time, just with that little 50-watt solar panel. And now we have a 100-watt that Gary's working on, trying to get it to fit inside the...
Yeah, I don't want to mount it on top of the trailer just because I don't want to poke more holes in the roof. And to make it portable, it'd take a little maneuvering. So working on that.
Yeah.
One of the other things that want to change is to have more opportunities to serve at different churches along the way, or perhaps a church. Last year we spent in Vacaville, California for 3 months. This winter, I'm not sure. That's one of the undetermineds, but somewhere to be able to serve and help out in the church. There
are a lot of vacancies, and we know that God will use us wherever He needs us to be, and we're just being open to where that may be. I'm hoping it's not going to be in the Midwest, but...
We do have some boots and heavier clothes in case we need them.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Brr.
yeah. We're looking into Wi-Fi boosters and hotspot options to improve our internet issues. We just talked a little bit about that and the things that we had trouble with before. And like I said, a good Wi-Fi booster is going to start at around $400 and they go up to about $1,000. We're looking at reviews on those. We're putting that on our wish list and trying to save up for something like that. As for our channel, I do everything possible to get videos up in a timely fashion. But when we are with people that we're visiting, they don't always understand that I need to be working on it. The average video takes me anywhere from 4 to 5 hours to edit, add the music, just get everything. That's not even the filming part of it. It's just that part of it. So that takes time. And some people don't always understand that, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And
so you don't want all of our time with family or friends to be spent working on videos, but it needs to be done at some point.
Yeah. So I put up a lot of late nights. There's been some nights I'm not in bed until 2 or 3 in the morning. Just
I have tried to
working on
convince
it.
her to get up earlier in the morning instead, but it doesn't go very far.
I am not a morning person, never have been, never will be. There have been a couple subscribers that we've lost because they thought that I should be on exact time or real time. And I don't know of any really good YouTubers who have a lot of followers who are on actual time. I know for a fact that many of them have said that they can be a couple of weeks behind just simply for safety reasons, not to be having your exact location out there. So
Plus, it lightens up the schedule, so don't have to be fixed into getting everything done by a set time and have all that pressure besides.
right. So, what were our plans for year 2? Notice the key word, were. All right. What we had planned to do was to leave Wisconsin in mid-August, and then we were going to spend some time with my mom in Minnesota for a little bit, and then head west and get out to British Columbia in time for our grandson's first birthday and spend some time with our daughter and son-in-law and 2 grandchildren there. And we even had a campground reserved. We had reserved it in January because they book up so fast that we knew we needed to get it done soon. And so that's what we were going to do. And then we were going to go down the coastline and see the fall colors and then end up in California and visit our friends there and then spend the winter in the Southwest. That was our original plan.
So where God has led us so far this fall is to be in Wisconsin and Minnesota. A family member who has cancer and is going through some ups and downs and struggling with that. We wanted to be in the area for a while just to see how things would go and keep praying for the family. So,
another close family member has been having some real bad issues with her eyesight, and so we've been kind of helping out with that as much as we can. So we've been going back and forth on that to different family members' homes and or being in the area where they live to help them out. We've also have a third one that is who have some health issues too, and it's like, okay. So we just feel that we need to be helping our family right now. And then the last big factor too, at the time that we would have had to have left, would have been that we had a lot of wildfires going on. I mean, there were over 500 in British Columbia, and some of them were in the bigger areas, some of the areas close to where we would have been. All the different states we would have been going through had fires on those routes, and we looked at different routes, and
some friends of ours were driving through the same routes and said it was nothing but smoke all the way from British Columbia area through to North Dakota.
Yeah.
So that was about the time we were going to leave.
Yep. So that was another big factor because it's a lot easier to get out with a car than it is to get out with an RV. So on August 20th, that was the last day that we could cancel our reservations for out west, out in British Columbia. And that was very hard. So we had to cancel them, and we don't know when we'll be able to go out there at this point. There's a lot of factors playing into this, so we're kind of in limbo land.
Road of faith. And
Yep.
not so much a road now as just faith. Waiting to see what direction that'll be.
Yep. We're looking at several possibilities. One is that if Gary serves a congregation, that we may be able to stay living in our home and park maybe in the church parking lot or the parsonage driveway or in a church member's property or something and still stay living in here. Another possibility is that we may end up putting our home in storage.
Which is what would happen in the Midwest.
If we,
Just-
if we're still in the Midwest, we would probably have to put it in storage and then move in with either a family member or a parsonage or something where we would be serving. Everything is just kind of a big question mark. You know, we don't want to be far away if something happens, and we don't want to be staying here in the winter months in our home, in our current home. So we have a lot of up in the air kinds of things going on. The good thing is that God knows, and He knows the plans He has for us. And sometimes that's really hard to trust.
Yeah.
We wish He would send us a text or a Twitter or an email or something, some kind of a message. But you know, there are the messages in His Word that tell us that we need to trust in Him.
And in the meantime, we do know that there are things we can be doing, that we are of help or encouragement to family and friends, and opportunities to serve, they're always there, and that we're grateful for, and the blessings that we have in any given day. God is great and awesome.
Yep. So that is the comfort we have, is that God is in control and that He knows the plans for us. So we're just...
We are extremely blessed, and we're blessed to have all of you as well.
And we appreciate your following our channel. I know this video is going to be a long one again too, but we just really want to express our gratitude to those who have been following us since the beginning. And if you're new, welcome. We are going to be doing some short travels here and there, so we are going to be showing some fun things coming up. In fact, we have a video that's waiting to come up after this that will be showing you some fun things. And we're going to be showing you some more RV tips and all the things that we've been doing along the way too. So if you're new to our channel, go to our channel, Roads of Faith, and check out videos, and we have all of them for the first year. There's, I think, 110 videos in there. That'll keep you busy for a while, but we've already are going to be starting year 2, and that will start with the very next video, year 2. And so from now on, when you see a 2, and then what do they call those 2 dots? Is that a semicolon or a colon?
Colin.
Colon. Okay. All right. So when you see the 2, the next one's going to be 2:1. And that means it's the first video of our second year. So keep that in mind as you're looking through them. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. You can also visit us on our Facebook page, Roads of Faith, and you can leave comments and questions there. And coming up, we probably will be doing a few question and answer kind of things for you. We'd like to be able to do that. I think that'd be fun. Please give this a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Just click on that red button below. Then ring that bell next to it, and you'll be notified every time a new video comes up. Follow us on Facebook, our Facebook page, Roads of Faith. And until next time, God bless.
Bless.